Today I'll be showing you how to make pumpkin sugar cookies. Along with the cookie recipe, I'm going to show you how you can ice your cookies using a glaze, as well as with royal icing to outline and flood the cookies. With a little bit of creativity, you'll be able to get pumpkin cookies that look as cute or as scary as you'd like. You can find a copy of the recipe and more decorating ideas by visiting snugglebunny.com. Let's get started. To make your own pumpkin sugar cookies, you will need 1½ cups of softened butter, 2 cups of granulated sugar, 4 eggs, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 5 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, and icing for decorating. In a medium bowl, cream together the butter and sugar using an electric mixer. Next, beat in the eggs and vanilla until smooth. In a separate bowl, sift together your flour, baking powder, and salt. Stir the ingredients together, then add the dry ingredients into the wet ingredients. Stir until they're incorporated. Or, if your electric mixer is strong enough, you can use it to mix the dough. Cover the dough and refrigerate it for at least 1 hour. Before you start rolling out your dough, you should prepare your baking trays. Even though I use non-stick trays, I like to line them with parchment paper. This prevents the bottoms of the cookies from sticking to the tray and will allow them to slide off easily. Alternatively, you can invest in a silicone baking mat. These fit right into your baking tray and are reusable, so it works out to be cheaper than parchment paper in the long run. Remove the dough from the refrigerator about 5 to 10 minutes before you're ready to bake. On a lightly floured surface, roll out your cookie dough. It should be a thickness of about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch. Use your pumpkin cookie cutter to cut out shapes from the dough. Pull away any excess dough and then use a spatula to scoop up your cookies. Place the cookies on a baking sheet about 1 inch apart. Bake the cookies at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 6 to 8 minutes. You'll want to watch the cookies carefully to make sure that they don't begin to brown. When decorating your cookies, you have 2 options. You can use a glaze, or you can flood the cookies using 2 consistencies of royal icing. I'll be showing you how to do both. The quickest way to decorate your cookies is by using a glaze. You can make your own glaze using some icing sugar and a few teaspoons of water or milk, or you can use a pre-made icing such as the one from Wilton that I have here. I'm putting the icing in a bowl and I'm adding a few spoons of milk to thin it out. The consistency I have here is still a little bit thick, and you can thin it out even more than this. It should flow off your spoon easily with just a small amount of resistance. To decorate the cookies, you'll need a pastry brush. Simply dip the brush into the glaze and paint it onto your cookie. You can just paint the icing onto the top, or you can also choose to glaze the sides of the cookies as well. Smooth out any lines by brushing very lightly over top of them, and they should dry smoothly. If they don't even out, add a few more drops of water to the glaze. A glaze is a good choice if you're pressed for time and have a lot of cookies to decorate, or if you don't want your cookies to be too sweet, since the layer of icing is quite thin. The second way to decorate your cookies is using royal icing. You can watch my video tutorial on how to make royal icing by clicking on the link here or in the description below. Begin by using food coloring to tint your icing into your desired colors. The icing should be thick but soft enough that you'll be able to pipe it. You'll want to transfer each color into a piping bag, but I personally like to use a sandwich bag with the corner snipped off. This allows me to control the size of my piping tip, and it's also inexpensive and quick to clean up. Use the icing to pipe an outline onto your cookie. I'm outlining the pumpkin in orange and the stem in green. Now you'll need to thin out your remaining icing to a flooding consistency. Add a few drops of milk or water to the icing and stir until it's mixed. It should flow freely off your spoon. Transfer this icing to a piping bag and pipe a bit onto your cookie in a circular shape. I like to use a spoon to spread the icing out towards the edges and across the entire cookie. If you see any air bubbles appear, use a spoon or a toothpick to pop them while the icing is wet. Allow the cookies to dry completely before you proceed with any decoration. Be as creative as you'd like with the decoration. I'm using edible markers from Wilton to draw the ridges of the pumpkin onto this cookie. I also used green icing to pipe curly vines onto some of my cookies. On some of the other cookies, I drew faces or wrote messages. On other cookies, I piped the ridges on using royal icing, then I dipped the cookie upside down into a plate of orange sprinkles. Ensure that your cookie is completely dry before you do this, otherwise you might end up with sprinkles on your entire cookie. If you'd like a quick and simple decorating idea, you can pipe squiggly lines across your pumpkin cookie for an artistic look. Or you can use a few autumn colors and make a plaid pumpkin design. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my channel for more great baking tutorials. Now you can find me on Facebook and Twitter. Follow me there for more updates. I'll see you again next time. Have a happy Halloween!